Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the S Rank Media Club podcast. Colin, we can't see you. Is that by design?
Are you about to surprise us with some epic outfit?
Yeah, because we can't see you. Oh, we're just getting a black screen. I don't know, and we can't hear you. So looks like it's the Quinn and Kudrow show today. See you, Colton. No more Sonic bullshit. Just some good video game talk. You know?
Yep.
Oh, he's back.
We seem to be on the next iteration of our recurring segment, technical difficulties.
Right. I guess we can start with some news stories. You got any news stories this week?
Don't we usually start with
Chopping.
what we've been doing this past week? Quentin,
Yeah, but
what have
since
you been watching?
I was gonna say Colton's not here, and so I don't want to get started without him. We got two Quins in the restream now, but I just figured we could kill some time while we wait for Colton to figure out his issues. Maybe
Can't say I've heard too much as far as news stories go. I know like right now, it seems like the latest craze is God of War Ragnarok, just released on the PS5.
Yeah, I
I
have
got a
a couple of friends playing that.
same. Keep hearing amazing things about it. I heard amazing things about the God of War on the PS4. I just haven't played it.
The original God of War, or not the original, but the remake of God of War, I guess, right?
Yeah, kind of like the soft reboot of God of War.
Right.
Like it takes place after the Greek trilogy, or I think it was a trilogy. I think there might have been like a spin-off game or two that I'm forgetting about,
Something like that.
But yeah, I haven't played any of the God of War games. I really didn't have any interest in playing the first three because it's just like Kratos is just a straight up villain protagonist from what I've seen of the first three games. It's
That's what
almost
I
like
heard.
it's like I don't need that. The one for the PS4 did look good. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, I have a few friends that have played that said it's really good. I know one of them is playing it on the PC right now, the ported version. So he says he's really enjoying that. So, but yeah, I watched when there was some talk about the new God of War. I watched like a quick YouTube video to get up to speed on what's going on in God of War, and
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like Kratos is just a big dick, or that everybody's a big dick. Essentially, is like the gods are dicks, and then Kratos is like, oh, well, I'm gonna be a bigger dick, and I'm just gonna kill everybody. Essentially, that's what I
Yeah,
gathered.
I mean, I can't speak too much about the Norse saga, but it seemed like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, with the original God of War games, like, it's not like the Greek pantheon was like full of good,
Right,
benevolent deities. But that said, it's like it really cranks up their tendencies to be petty, jealous assholes and just cranks it up to dials that up to 11.
right.
And then that just kind of seems to be the world that God of War is set in. I don't know if the Norse saga follows that same trend. As I said, I need to actually get around to playing the PS4 game, but
From my understanding, I think it does, but then they also add in the kind of emotional tie with having a son. So I
yeah,
think that's kind of what they went for, and then obviously better graphics and a more polished next generation game, right?
yeah, it seems like some of the gameplay, like the combat looks like it flows pretty well. All the gameplay and such looks pretty good. Really does. It's just I hear basically the game is without flaw. Like all the boss fights and such is compelling. Combat's really good. The only real thing I heard about it and was just playing God of War on challenge mode. The challenge difficulty can feel
Mm,
really tedious due
gotcha.
to inflated enemy health bars,
Hmm.
but that's it.
Right,
That's the only minor complaint that I've heard.
right. Yeah, I mean, looking at the Metacritic Metascore, it's at a 94. This was released in 2018.
Yeah, and like the
Oh, negative or mixed critic reviews, I should say.
yeah, but
So
then God of War Ragnarok is sitting here rocking 94% on Metacritic. So
okay, so they're both up there. It's good.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe one day I'll play the port, but we'll see. I don't really. I have quite a few other things I'm playing that is just maybe someday, but probably not honestly. But
yeah, I hear you. I have fallen behind on my gaming. I have not turned on that console for a few weeks now.
oh yeah,
Because I've got to get back to Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
hmm
Got to weeb out for a bit, then hop on Xenoblade 3.
right.
Other than that, but yeah, it's like I think now, but like now it's like work's picking up, so and then just kind of everything else, and then just kind of everything else that I'm juggling is just kind of takes away from the video games, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I feel that. And then you add in just feeling tired and all of that. It's like sometimes video games aren't always the most relaxing thing to do that you want to do. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll shoot Colton a message and see. Maybe he rebooted his computer.
Considering he hasn't hopped on in a minute, that's my guess about what he's doing.
I don't have a text or anything like that from him, so
I just need to know how it's always him at this point because he just recently rebuilt his PC too, and he's still having all of this technical difficulty.
yeah, I'm wondering if they've been moving stuff around since they're you know reorganizing is my assumption. So I'm wondering if he was reorganizing some stuff, and I know he has a lot of audio equipment as well, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe moving things around has caused some technical issues that he needs to figure out. But because he has a lot of equipment, because he uses his PC to game on his TV,
Mm-hmm.
to record all of that, so I can only assume that there's quite a few moving parts on his end. But
Yeah, to be honest, that's kind of why I prefer to keep my setup simple.
yeah, I
I
know
can
there's
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I know you can get pretty fancy, and a couple of my friends, you can buy soundboards and start playing with all the inputs and outputs and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think sometimes simpler is better, like you said.
Yeah, the big thing I really need is because like I'm still using this headset. I really need to buy like a nice microphone, but
Yeah, I
I
mean, it
can't
doesn't
take.
sound terrible, so
Hmm?
I think it sounds pretty good for a
Yeah, but
headset mic.
I also I feel like you can tell this is a headset. Like this definitely isn't like a. I mean, if you're, I think as the show like hopefully evolves and grows,
Right.
this headset is going to get outgrown.
Yeah,
For now, it's
definitely
probably
potential.
fine, but we're definitely an upgrade is definitely needed
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we should just keep moving. I thought he would be back by now, but we can just go into our weeks, I guess. You want to go first? You want me to start us off here?
I feel like at this point it's tradition for you to start us off, Glenn.
All right. What did I do? Oh, we started playing New World. I don't know if you remember
That's the
that game.
Amazon MMO, right?
Yeah, it's like a pirate kind of fantasy MMO. Um, and they updated it, I guess. I've noticed a few noticeable updates, but in terms of the gameplay and looting and all of that, it seems about the same from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Well, I guess let me start from the beginning. They now allow you to create a new character in some specific servers. So they still have all the old servers where you can use your character.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it works is you create a character and it's kind of locked to that server. I'm only assuming to because of the mechanics of the war mechanics and stuff like that, and how the system of invading different territories works. They don't want people moving around because it would just create chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So your character is kind of locked to a server. So they made new servers where only new players are allowed, or new characters, so new builds. So we started one of those, and I did notice they added more kind of fast travel areas, which is nice because I remember when we used to play it, which I didn't really mind at the time, but it was just you had to run so far sometimes just to complete quests and get to different places, which was kind of bothersome. But excuse me, but yeah. So other than that, I think they tweaked the storage system. Because before you could only your storage was linked to where you were storing it. So there's different settlements, and whoever was controlling that settlement, there's 3 factions. Whatever faction was controlling the settlement, that was the only type of settlement that was kept by that faction that you could pull from your storage. Now all your storages, I think, are linked, which is nice. But other than that, I haven't noticed, and we're still pretty early in the game. Not even, or I think I just hit level 20, and I was level 28. So I think things are going to start slowing down here.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say you? Wait, so you just hit 28? You were 20?
No, we just hit 20, and I was 28 on my first build. So I think
I see.
Going to
So
start
this is
slowing
the
up.
second character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we got video.
Oh, you can see me. Can you hear
and we
me
can hear
too?
you. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the problem. You did move all your stuff, didn't you?
Wow, I'm Colton Wallace and nothing works.
No, you're Quinn by your name tag.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You missed the big news.
What's the big news?
We started playing New World again.
Everyone? Kudra, are you playing an MMO?
No, Kudra's not
No,
playing.
I'm not playing MMO. Who do you take me for, Colton? That'd be a huge out of character alert.
So this was my guess that you were moving stuff around, and I was right.
Yeah, so I'm Colton Wallace, and let's talk about home renovations here on our. So I could hear you guys. I heard you guys talking about God of War. Then I went to restart my computer. My computer had a fit, and now we're here.
That's good.
Yes, as you can see, I have decorated my space with a vacuum back here.
Nice Dyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real nice Dyson. Yep.
Only the best.
Yep. Yeah. So, anyways, what were we talking about?
Oh, we were gonna wait. So we were talking about God of War, but then we were like, well, we probably should get going into the weekly. So I was talking about New World and how they updated it. Yeah, I haven't noticed too many changes yet, but we're pretty early into new character build. So
gotcha. So you're into playing New World again. You've been
I've played it 3 times since Saturday, I want to say. So it's not something that I've been grinding at all per se, but we're back into it, and it's a nice relaxing game to play. I mean, it's got the instant gratification again going, and you don't really have to think about it, but it's still enjoyable. So
I get it.
But yeah,
gotcha.
Other than that, been playing quite a bit of Overwatch. I don't think I've won a competitive Overwatch game yet, but I've played I think I've played at least 6 or 7 games. Haven't yet to win one.
All right, well,
so that's how that's going, but it's still fun.
That's cool.
And then I played Warzone 2.0 yesterday.
Oh.
Me and one of my friends played, and we only played. Well, I played one game. His game kept crashing.
Oh, nice.
And it took us 20 minutes just to get into an actual game, because we would get into a lobby and it wouldn't start the game. We were at 130 to 140 people in the lobby, but it would just continuously start, or warm up. That's what it is, where everybody just kind of keeps dropping, and you can you can kill people, but it's not the game. So the game wouldn't start. Finally, we got into a lobby. His game crashed, and I got one kill. I was just sitting up in an antenna tower sniping people, and yeah. And then someone used what was it? An airstrike on me. So I had to jump ship, and then I had my sniper out when someone peeked around the corner, and yeah, just totally demolished me. So it feels, I don't know, it feels realistic.
Mhm.
If that's what you're going for, I guess that's what they're going for. I have heard of one thing people don't like is the looting system. It's like it's very, I think, survival crafty. So like if you like open like a duffel bag or a cash register, you have to actually physically grab stuff out of it.
Okay.
So you can't just grab all, or at least I haven't seen where you can grab all. So you have to like pick what you want out of it. Which I've heard some complaints about.
Yeah, it can be fast paced with that looting sometimes when like somebody's coming and you're trying to like pick up a gun and interesting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wanted to maybe try that. But
yeah, I would say it's free.
I played
worth it, maybe. I don't know.
I've played pretty much nothing in the last 2 weeks. I played some Teamfight Tactics. Like I said, I was playing that. But the competitive season ended. And so the next set that comes out is like massively different from this one. But you can't play the beta or the test realm. You can only play that on PC. And I've been playing on my iPad. So I'm kind of sad because that was like after I'm tired from doing house renovations, I can just sit and play that, or I can, ride the bike to get some exercise and play that game. But then they just took it away from me because now I don't want to play the old set because the new one's going to come out in like 2 weeks. But you can't play the test realm on the iPad. So that's, first world problem of the week is that.
It's annoying.
Yeah. That's all I've been playing. That and the house renovations game.
The most fun game.
Yeah.
Riot Games doesn't want you to have fun.
That's a lot of people would agree with that statement, I think.
No matter what Riot Games you're playing.
Yeah. Kudro, did you already talk about this week while I was gone, or what have you been playing?
I figured, I always figure Quinn, he's kind of become our starting man, so I kind of let him take the pole position.
He's the one playing all the games.
Yeah, unfortunately, my consoles have been collecting dust for the last few weeks, much to my dismay.
Because you've been playing MMOs on the PC.
Oh, you know it. No, so let's see here. Yeah, one of these days I will get back to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But as far as media, let's see here. I did go check out Black Panther: Wakanda Forever because at this point I'm under obligation to watch every comic book movie that releases.
It's a sad place to be.
It kind of is. I'm not going to lie to you. But I mean, to be fair, Wakanda Forever, Black Panther probably was the best comic book movie that's released this year. Though, to be fair, considering its competition, which was Love and Thunder and Black Adam, that's not a high bar to clear. But it's definitely worth seeing. I have been, other than that, continuing to watch the Andor series on Disney Plus, which so far has been pretty solid. And I guess as far as the anime world, this is actually a pretty loaded anime season. But I guess if I had to highlight one for tonight, could go with probably could give Bleach a recommendation. Its final arc is finally getting animated. And
wait, that show's not over yet?
Well, okay.
How many episodes are there?
With this latest season or the series as a whole?
The series as a whole. I thought that if you asked me when did Bleach end, I would have told you like 2016.
Well, no, the funny thing is, like, that is probably roundabouts when it might have even been a little bit earlier. Let's take a look, see. Let's see here. Bleach, the anime. When did it end? Let me see. Our first episode aired in 2004. 366 episodes.
Wow.
So it ran from 366 episodes spanning from October 2004 to March 2012. And then funny enough, the anime ended right before the final arc, and they're finally getting around to animating it now. The manga itself, I think the arc there has been over for probably a few years now.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I tell you what, it seems like they really saved the best for last because like the animation for it's been really good. Bleach has always had a good soundtrack, so no worries there. And but the big reason you're watching Bleach is just, it's action scenes, which are still spectacular. So,
Gotcha. Speaking of watching things, I watched Don't Worry, Darling. Have you guys seen or heard about that movie?
That
That was
rings a
the movie.
bell. Where have I
Remember
heard
the
about
movie
that?
where like one guy like was like, oh, did he spit on the other guy? The two actors in the movie, and it was like a big deal. I'm trying to think of their names. Is it like Chris Pine and Harry Styles? Is that the other guy? Is Harry Styles
That's the other guy,
actor?
yeah. Harry
Yeah.
Styles and Chris Pine
There
are in it,
was there's like a whole thing. Anyways, I didn't know what the movie was about. I didn't pay attention to that. But then I saw this movie called Don't Worry, Darling. The premise looked interesting, and I watched it. And I don't. People were like mad about this movie, and I didn't know why. So I had the luxury of not knowing what the movie was about when I watched it. And I think that made it more interesting. I think if I had known kind of the details of what the movie was going for, it would have ruined the experience of watching it because it just takes some turns throughout. And I would say you should watch the movie Don't Worry, Darling. It's on HBO, but don't look up anything about what it is. Just watch the movie. And I won't say it's a great movie, but it's like different. And a lot of times I feel like so many of the movies I watch that come out are like just, even if they're all right movies, they're very much like a bunch of other movies that are coming out. Like superhero movies, and not just comic book superhero movies where it's very much like a superhero movie. Which when we get to Tomb Raider later, I'll explain why I think the first Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie are basically superhero movies. Anyways, this movie, Don't Worry, Darling, I just felt like it was like a different thing to watch, and that made me happy. It was like cool and different. So it's worth watching. And if you do watch it, I'd recommend you don't learn anything about the movie, you just watch it and just kind of take it in. Because I swear for half the movie, I didn't know what genre is this exactly, but it's better that way. Interesting watch.
Okay.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Quickly back to Black Panther. Doesn't have the best reviews.
Oh,
Just want to throw that out there.
I actually haven't looked up the reviews for it.
It's sitting at a 67 Metascore, which isn't terrible, but it's not the best for what was being hyped up, I guess, right?
I kind of feel like if a superhero movie has bad reviews, I'm more likely to want to see it, because I've watched the superhero movies that have good reviews, and I'm like, what is this trash?
I don't know. Right. Sometimes that can backfire, because that's why I went out and watched Morbius, and that was garbage.
Well, to be fair, it has a bad Metascore and a bad user score.
Oh, it's critic score, Rotten Tomatoes is like 84, but yeah, Metacritic is 67.
I don't know. I think they were put in a tough position, unfortunately, in a situation that they had little control over, and they had to kind of do what they could to salvage it, right? Because of, unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman's death. And I don't know how, like, I'm not a a movie maker. Like I don't know how you go about that, but I mean they gave it a shot, right?
Mhm.
And you said it was
I
worth it to watch, right?
It was. I mean, like I didn't think it was bad. I did. I think there are some weaknesses in the plot, particularly with the central conflict of the movie. Like it has some. It has some neat concepts. Like, but the central conflict really. It felt a little. It felt a little contrived at times.
Okay.
Honestly, like by the end of the movie, I was definitely ready to leave the theater.
Mm.
Like I do remember thinking like by the like we got to like the mid-credit scene. This is probably the first Marvel movie that I didn't stay till after the credits,
Ooh.
partially because I really had to use the bathroom by the end of it. But also because like I felt like I had been in the theater for quite a I don't know why it felt like I was sitting in the movie for a long time. What was the runtime on this movie? Now that I'm thinking about it.
161 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, that's why. That's like
Oh.
2 hours and 40
Yeah,
minutes.
it actually was
Jesus.
that long.
Yeah. Okay. So no, like that's why I felt like I was sitting in there for so long. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that'd probably be my big things. Like sometimes I felt like the plot and the central conflict was a little contrived. I definitely can maybe see some criticisms toward the runtime because it definitely felt too long.
Do you think they try to do too much, or no? Because that's what my mind goes to. Is it's an ode to the Black Panther. They're trying to give him a good send off, but
Mm-hmm.
also I don't know, make a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm thinking is it must have been freaking hard to come up with what they were going to do because the MCU is so linked together
Mm-hmm.
that you have to produce something that keeps fans excited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the whole purpose of the MCU, in my
yeah,
opinion.
and you know
I
what? I will give this movie a lot of credit, particularly for its beginning, because the fact that they really took the I mean, they really took like the death of the late Chadwick Boseman and and then the death of the character. And like this might be like one of the best examples of like real life writes the plot tropes that I've like ever seen done in a movie. Like I feel like it really hits that emotional impact hard, and how that drives the plot is very well done.
now do you think this
Particularly in the beginning.
do you think this compares to when Paul Walker drives off in a different direction in Fast and the Furious?
That's a bold of you to assume I've watched Fast and the Furious.
Listen, I think
You know the song though, don't you? Don't you? You know the song that was playing on the radio every 10 minutes?
Yeah, Wiz Khalifa was a Wiz Khalifa song.
It was a Wiz Khalifa song.
See you again or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Charlie Puth. Yeah.
Hmm.
That was one of the most cultural
Yeah.
significant like
I
send
don't
offs,
think
I think.
I
Right?
think the Fast and the Furious movies are pretty bad, but culturally, I've watched all of them. Just that as an experience, I'm like, I got to see all these, mostly so I can
Wow.
say bad things about them.
That's some dedication.
The
I've
first
only
one is still the best one.
let's see here. I think I've seen 4. I think I've seen. I think I saw the original movie. I saw Too Fast, Too Furious. I've seen Tokyo Drift, and I couldn't tell you what number it was because the movie wasn't particularly memorable. But I was the one where they were like was like some Mexican drug runners or something like that.
That's
all
probably
of them.
multiple of yeah.
I thought that was like that formed like the central conflict of the movie.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, still multiple of them, I think.
Well, yeah, I got one reason that you should watch them all.
Yeah, all right, tell us.
Family.
So what I'm saying is watch it for the memes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's an experience.
I only know Dominic Toretto. Vin Diesel?
Yeah,
Right, that's the actor.
Yeah,
right?
it's Vin Diesel. Yeah, Vin Diesel. Yeah,
Vin Diesel. And they threw Vin Diesel and and The Rock in it together. And who's the other guy? The British dude.
Jason Statham.
Yeah. So they try
Yeah.
to throw like these action stars into it. And then there was that other guy. Who was it? It was like was he French? The guy who was driving like the Formula One looking car. I forget what he looked
I
you know
don't
what I'm
remember
talking
who it
about?
was. Yeah, they get all kinds of people in there.
Yeah.
They've gotten like you can see a
It's a
trend
gravy
line
train.
down. Yeah, somehow but it's I guess so are the superhero movies still. So I guess it shouldn't surprise me.
Well, what are they gonna do? Make an EV Fast and Furious now? They got
They're going Fast and the Furious going electric. Like it's
yeah. Say bye to the combustion engines.
I like it.
That's the next.
Yeah,
That's the next one. Just
that's
wait.
a good one. I like it.
But
All right, should we talk about Tomb Raider?
we can talk about Tomb Raider. We can talk about Sonic Frontiers. We can.
Oh, Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, the Metascore. So the Metascore thing's hard because we can't get an overall Metascore.
Yeah, because like right now where it stands, we were kind of both right.
We could do our own, like average them all together.
But we haven't played the game.
No, not do our own.
Oh, we could
score,
average
but,
them all together.
Yeah, but add them all together.
I feel like that's just a little. I
It
feel
feels a
like
bit-
even that just doesn't work though, because it just seems as though the game just based on scores, it runs so much better on PC than any other console.
Right, but I guess I haven't looked at the reviews enough to know whether people are reviewing it for bad technical issues or because of the actual
Right. Yeah,
gameplay or
it's a weird
story
one.
and that sort of thing.
yeah.
I think that's part of it for like particularly like on the Switch and such is technical issues, the hardware.
Gotcha. So I guess if we look at the highest running hardware, then we can use that because that's what it's meant to be played on, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you can always look at like a game like, for instance, like Cyberpunk 2077, where everybody was experiencing bugs, so like you couldn't really get a good, the score was kind of the same across the board. But if you're playing on the highest, hardware or whatever it's made for, I think that's fair to use. But there's only 6 critic reviews that I'm seeing for PC, so I don't know if that's fair either.
All right, PlayStation 5, score of
What
72.
it is.
My guess was 73. I guess I'm the winner.
Except I said 80, and 80 is the PC score.
Yeah, but you didn't play it. You wouldn't play it on PC.
So what I'm hearing is we need to revisit this in another month.
Colton, I'm gonna amend that a little bit. I wouldn't play this game because I don't have any interest in it.
So maybe we table this and come back
We'll
to it
table it.
later.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you look at the numbers, like it's clear that I won.
Yeah. Whatever. All right. Tomb Raider.
If it helps you, I'll give it to you, Colton. I don't need this victory.
Wow. Easy to give something up that you lost. I know I put this in here. Did I not save it? Oh my god. All right, hold on.
Yeah, Tomb Raider, it wasn't terrible.
Whoa, we haven't even started yet.
Whoa.
I know, I'm just filling the silence.
Just filling the silence here. Cujo could have told a joke there. All right, we got our stuff here.
Got everything set up?
Yeah.
All right, let me get my stuff pulled up. All right. Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
Oh, you can do it if you want.
All right.
Yeah, I'll say you guys both watched the movie today, so movie's fresh in your memories.
Do we know what episode of Ranking of Video Game Movies this is?
Of course we do. If my
By that
program
he
didn't
means that he'll look it up.
kick me back to my first page. Nine.
Nine.
Episode 9.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Welcome to the S Rank Media Club podcast, where we will be ranking Tomb Raider 2018 as a part of our ranking of video game movies podcast series. This is episode 9. And yeah, let's get into it. So this is the Tomb Raider after Lara Croft Tomb Raider starring Angelina Jolie. Sorry. This one stars her name is Alicia Vikander, assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Gotcha.
So a little lesser known actress, I think. I don't really know of her
Yeah, I haven't seen her in anything else.
before watching this. So, but yeah, I'll get us started with a kind of a storyline here. Lara Croft is a fiercely independent daughter of an eccentric adventurer, Lord Richard Croft, who vanished when she was scarcely a teen. Now a young woman of 21 without any real focus or purpose, Lara navigates the chaotic streets of trendy East London as a bike courier, barely making rent and taking college courses. Determined to forge her own path, she refuses to take the reins of her father's global empire just as staunchly as she rejects the idea that he's truly gone. Advised to face the facts and move forward after 7 years without him, even Lara can't understand what drives her to finally solve the puzzle of his mysterious death. Going explicitly against his final wishes, she leaves everything she knows behind in search of her dad's last known destination, a fabled tomb on a mythical island that might be somewhere off the coast of Japan. But her mission will not be an easy one. Just reaching the island will be extremely treacherous. Suddenly, the stakes couldn't be higher for Lara, who, against the odds and armed with only her sharp mind, blind faith, and inherent stubborn spirit, must learn to push herself beyond her limits as she journeys into the unknown. If she survives this perilous adventure, it could be the making of her, earning her the name Tomb Raider. So, that's kind of a little storyline summary. They take the angle of kind of this is the beginning story of Tomb Raider. It's a little different storyline than the original Tomb Raiders, so it's kind of like I mentioned, the making of her becoming a Tomb Raider, so her origin story, we'll call it. And they really portray her less sexy and less superhero-ish, which I think you mentioned before. So that's kind of laying out the baseline for this, and she doesn't want to take up the Croft. Is it Croft Industries or Croft? I don't even know. What
Yeah,
it's
she's
called.
like hesitant to inherit her father's whatever, her inheritance. Yeah.
Right.
But it's also somehow she doesn't know what the inheritance is, and she's just decided she doesn't want to know, I guess.
Right. I think they're trying to portray her as she doesn't want to accept it because that means that her dad's dead. That's what I gathered. It's like she doesn't want to give up on the idea that her dad isn't coming back, or is coming back, I should say.
Gotcha.
That's how I interpreted it. I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense. I was confused because it's like she just has no idea what it is, but she just leaves and doesn't even try and figure out what the I was confused how she didn't know what the inheritance was. She just got that like magical object, which, as we know, this magical object from your dad will lead you to the place you need to go to.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I guess I'll just run through a quick plot summary.
Go for it.
Lara Croft, she's in London. She's just making ends meet as a bike courier, but it's kind of alluded to that she's smarter than she's letting on. Like she could, do something with her life, but she doesn't want to. Which seems like because she doesn't want to give up on her dad, so she's kind of like in a rut of doesn't know what to do with herself, but also doesn't want to take up Croft Industries. I don't know what we call it.
Croft responsibilities. Remember?
Right, Croft responsibilities. The Croft family responsibilities. So she messes up. She gets taken, or she goes to jail, and then gets bailed out by Anna, who is essentially runs Croft since her dad passed away, or presumably passed away, which kind of wakes her up. And she goes to go sign the will, but then she finds a Japanese puzzle and solves it and finds all of her dad's work, which pushes her to kind of try and go find what he was looking for, or go find him. Even though her dad left her a video that said burn all of this because it could, destroy the world, which only piques her interest. So she automatically pawns off something to get money to fly to Japan. And she has her dad's notebook to try and find, a way to get to this island that her dad was trying to get to. She goes to Japan. She tries to find the same captain that her dad was working with, and finds his son. This is essentially just a drunk guy who owns a boat. Convinces him to take the boat out to this unknown island. They end up getting there, but there's just a huge storm and they crash into the rocks, and she ends up on the island saved by a mysterious man. Come to find out, this guy is an evil, guy that's been looking for this tomb on the island for the past 7 years. And he's using essentially slave labor to try and find it. And he can't leave the island because he's employed by, was it Trinity, I think, is the name they used?
Yeah, right. That was yes.
Some mysterious employer that won't let him leave until he's found this tomb. Mm-hmm. So he's essentially gone crazy, gone mad with trying to find this to try and get back to see his family. And he tells Laura that he killed her father. And she brought this diary of her dad's to him, and now he knows where the tomb is. So then we get this kind of scenes of the slave labor. They're moving to this new location because Laura brought them the direct place where this is. Mm-hmm. And then we get into kind of an action sequence chase scene where Laura barely escapes. Mm-hmm. And then the guy is hunting her down. One of the henchmen is tracking her and hunts her down. She ends up killing him with her kickboxing skills. And then it turns out her dad is there. So she chases her dad, and her dad's thinks he's going crazy, and she's not real. They reconcile a little bit, but then her dad's to me, her dad didn't care about her. It was all about keeping this tomb sealed so the world wouldn't end. Mm-hmm. And he really doesn't seem to care about Laura, and Laura is kind of pissed off. So Laura is we need to escape off this island. The guy has a satellite phone. We can, get off the island if we just get the satellite phone and call for help, essentially. Her dad doesn't want to because he's too worried about the guy finding the tomb. I think, what was his name? Vogel, I think his name was.
Vogel, yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I should give him a name. But yeah, so then Laura goes back to the work camp to try and steal the satellite phone. She ends up using a bow and arrow because she has amazing bow and arrow skills. She's able to take down a few of the guards, and then the workers are able to essentially escape. But then her dad runs up and is looking at the tomb. I don't know what he's doing up there. That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
he put himself into a weird position where he got taken hostage.
He's specifically not trying to open it up, and then he's just messing around up there.
Right.
All right, guy.
Right. Everything settles down, and then Vogel kind of comes up, and they have this kind of talk where I should say, where he's open it up, open the tomb, or I'll kill you, essentially. And then Laura shows up and she's like, I'll open it. Just don't kill my dad. So they open the tomb door and then they go in. And they make it to the center after a few traps. And they come to find out that the tomb was essentially to keep people in, not to keep people out. So they kind of understand that the traps are to stop people from getting out. And they're trying to figure out, why this, I think it was some royalty, right? A queen, maybe a Japanese feudal queen or something like that. The whole story is as they understood it, she got taken here against her will and sealed away. Come to find out from the paintings inside the tomb, the temple, she chose to come here herself to essentially save the world or save the people because she was carrying a disease that was like, if you touch her, you perish, or it turns you into like a weird zombie thing.
Yeah, there's something
and this disease has been just sitting dormant in her coffin for however many years. So Vogel's like finally finds, he's found the treasure or the person, and he's like, I need to take this and get out of here. Like, he's just focused on leaving to get home. Like, he doesn't really care about anything else. He's just trying to save himself. So he's like, he tells his men to pick up the body. They touch the body, and then they turn into like some weird zombie things, which they end up dying. And then Vogel's like, well, I just need a piece of it to take with me. I'm assuming for scientific discovery, stuff like that. So he takes a finger off the dead body, and Lara and her dad are like, we can't let him escape with this because it could, lead to an outbreak and end humanity essentially. So her dad is fighting with Vogel, but then one of the dead dudes comes back alive and he has to fight him off and ends up infecting her dad. So then her dad's like, leave, Vogel gets away. I forgot to mention, he gets away with the finger, and her dad's like, Lara, you need to go stop him. I'll blow myself up and, make sure, this doesn't ever escape. So he rigs it with dynamite and blows it up. And then Vogel and Lara have this big action sequence where they're wrestling and fighting, and then Lara ends up winning in the fight. Vogel dies, and then Lara somehow escapes the crumbling mountain because the boat captain threw down a rope or something like that, I think, right?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Yep, to help her out, basically.
Right, and Vogel had called in for the air transport, so when the air transport got there, all the workers essentially were like, take us home. I think that's pretty much it for the main story. And then Laura comes home and she signs the will, and then she looks at Anna and is like, you can keep running the business. Like, Laura doesn't know anything about it. She's like, you can just keep running the business. Like, it's all you. And then as she's kind of turning through the pages of all the assets or entities that Croft owns, she comes across, I think it's Prenta or something like that, Prenta Inc., which had appeared many times in the movie with the military contractors, which essentially foreshadows that Anna is in charge of Trinity or is behind Trinity in some way.
Right.
It's your sequel hook for the next movie that never happened.
Right. And that's kind of where it ends. So, yeah, not a terrible movie, but I wouldn't say it's very memorable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I guess from the beginning, this is like a scrappy Lara Croft trying to climb up from the bottom. Like when she's, she's very much portrayed as that in the beginning. The People's Lara Croft spilling paint all over the city. Also, the scene where they ride the bike and they just cut a hole in the paint can. Can you imagine how hard that would be to clean up? Because it's not just one spot of paint; it's just a trail of paint, like as fast as somebody can ride a bike. That's wildly fucked up to do. I can't believe that. Like that's.
I mean, as long as it's not waterproof, it'll come off with a rain. So
Over how long?
If it's not oil based.
Still, that's.
If it's
That's
water
wild.
based, it shouldn't be an issue. But I agree. I had the same kind of reaction. I was like, well, that's kind of fucked up that they're just spilling paint all over the city.
you guys are far more environmentally conscious than I am because I didn't even think twice about it.
That's gonna go in the storm sewers and go to the fish. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's gonna kill the
No, that's
fish.
fair. That's fair.
It's gonna kill the turtles.
The turtles are gonna have plastic straws stuck in their noses because of this.
I don't really know what the paint has to do with that, but we're conflating the issues here now.
Yeah, so I kind of agree. I actually thought this movie was all right for most of it. Of course, her dad left her a magic item that tells her where to go, a MacGuffin.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, do you guys want to talk about this compared to the older Tomb Raider movies? Like, okay, it's clearly shown when she can't speak another language. That made me so happy that she couldn't just speak every language
Right.
fluently. I was like, great, she doesn't know this language.
Right.
And like I said, where this made me really view those earlier Tomb Raider movies. Think about it. I'm like, those are like superhero movies. The Lara Croft in those movies kind of follows superhero tropes in a way. And it's like superhero Lara Croft versus this one, which is like survivalist Lara Croft. Like,
Right.
It very much makes her like a survivalist when she goes onto the island. Like the river scene where she's going on the river and catches on the plane. And it very much feels more like she's not a superhuman machine, and she is like
Right.
and she actually seems to be hurt at least for a little while when she falls, like when she gets the stake in her and has to pull it out.
Right.
Now maybe some of those injuries mysteriously go away pretty quickly, but at least
it feels like it feels like they're there. They go away in the fight because it doesn't seem to impact her that much.
Yeah.
But then, like when she's back with Dad, it's like,
it's back.
By the way, I'm injured.
Yeah. So,
It's adrenaline.
Which is a fair counterpoint.
It's some adrenaline, but that stake, man, that has to be.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say they went for realism in this one.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they didn't. And to be honest, I was I was kind of sitting waiting for like some crazy shit to happen where she just like goes crazy and like does some weird
I
superhuman stuff. But it never
I
happened.
felt like towards the end they went a little bit like towards that last like scene in the movie kind of it went a little bit
escaping.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, okay. I wish you wouldn't have, but like, and I don't know. It's like superhero Lara Croft is like fake. It's like you fantasize about superhero Lara Croft if you're like a teenager because you don't understand like the real world and you're just like she's just hot lady doing like badass things. But this survivalist Lara is much more endearing and like it feels more like a real person that gets hurt when she falls long distances.
Right. I want to push back a little bit on on the ending scene, and I think I think that was important to the video game aspect because like it's based off a video game, right? And I think it really was like the pinnacle of like, oh, here's Lara Croft. She's now a Tomb Raider. Like they destroyed the tomb. She made it out somehow, and I think it was it probably wasn't like 100% realistic, but it was kind of like, oh, we need, she's obviously going to escape, but, the tomb's crumbling around her and she makes it. But it wasn't like, oh, she burst through the rocks with superhuman strength and her guns blazing, like that sort of thing.
I've played the first, the modern Tomb Raider series of games. I played the first one, and this movie did remind me a lot of that game.
You're talking the one from 2013 that this movie's based off of?
Oh, is this based out? It was so they did 3 in that like modern reboot of Tomb Raider. The first one of those. I think it's just called Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah, it was just called Tomb Raider. So this is very largely based on the 2013 Tomb Raider game.
Okay.
Which, funny enough, like after I watched this movie, like I haven't played the game myself, but I figured I'd read up a little bit on it, just so I was kind of curious
Yeah.
for like some of the differences.
Fun game.
Apparently, that 2013 game is brutal.
Oh yeah, the death scenes you get when it is gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I'm getting comparisons to like Dead Space, it's like that's
Yeah.
pretty telling.
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked this much better than the previous Tomb Raider movies. Okay, the plot of where the bad guy forces them all into the tomb, it feels a bit stale, but I felt like actually the chase scenes and like the tomb scenes. I kind of enjoyed watching. Like the scene with the falling floor and the gems felt like a good Indiana Jones scene to me.
Colton, is this a cry for help? Have you been kidnapped? Do you need assistance?
No, I think they did it okay. Like it wasn't so overblown chase. It felt like I was all right with it. Like
I agree with that. I think the actual tomb rating wasn't any longer or shorter than it needed to be. I thought it was a good length.
I suppose I should actually compliment this movie for actually having tomb raiding contrast to the Cradle of Life.
Yeah, I think like stylistically, I like the tombs better than in the older stuff too. Like they just looked more. I don't know what the word is. Like the old ones, like the tombs were like too perfect and too like, yeah. But then this one, it felt a lot better.
Right.
I can't put my finger on exactly why. When it turned out to be a disease, then too, I liked that it was a disease and like the way that kind of worked was cool. I don't know that they had to be zombies after, but maybe they did have to be.
But yet this was ultimately the second Tomb Raider movie, because like the first one did this too, where it's like you just have some super powerful, fast acting disease that's completely unrealistic.
I would argue this one did it better though.
I mean, fair, but it's also, yeah.
It's a video game movie.
I was like interested when they were opening the tomb what was going to happen. I didn't know.
I didn't know what was going to happen.
The way this movie was going, I thought that thing was going to open its eyes and they were going to fight a demon, and that's what I was hoping for. But you know.
I agree. I almost feel like that would have made the ending a little bit more fun. But
yeah,
what do I know?
My whole thing with that is like, I feel like they had to keep it in bounds though.
Right. Yeah, you're right. No,
the thing is though, it's like, spoiler alerts for 2013 game if you haven't played it. But like fighting like a gigantic samurai demon is effectively what happens at the end of the game. Like why don't I get that in this movie?
But she's not equipped to fight a giant samurai demon though.
Yeah, she hasn't upgraded her levels yet. That's the third movie when she fully upgrades her stuff.
Well, what I was gonna say is like I was like thinking about it. I was consciously thinking about, when they open this tomb, if there is something supernatural, I feel like there's no realistic way of fighting it where they're currently sitting at right now. Like they have guns, they have that sort of thing, but they would have to pull something right out of their asses to take down a samurai ghost or whatever,
Yeah, and why does that guy want this so bad? Did they say? I don't remember why he cared about this so much.
Basically, the organization, there's like that shadow organization that this dude is working for.
TriStar.
Dropped him off on the island and refuses to let him leave and go back to his family until he actually opens the tomb and brings Himiko out.
But for what? I don't understand. I
never understand. That's part of the mysteriousness.
Oh, that's
that leads into the second movie, I think.
Well, they talk about it. I think they talk about it at some point in the movie. Basically, it's like right in the beginning, I think, when they're talking about the journals, like, hey, with the power of the tomb, that in the tomb of Himiko could be the power to rule the world, which is what this organization wants to do.
Right, they deal in supernatural powers essentially. So
I think the whole thing here is that they would have weaponized that disease to
Right.
basically create their world empire.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Other plot point thoughts?
The one thing that I disliked was how fast she was able to move in Japan, I guess. Like you had the chase scene where they tried to rob her or whatever, but then she talks to, I think his name was like Liu Chan or something like that.
Lou Ren, I think.
Lou Rand, I don't know, whatever his name is. And he's just all aboard right away. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I've
But
sobered
that
up
was
and I'm
about
ready to
it.
go.
Right. So it's like, yeah, I think they could have done a little more with that, but also you gotta, that's not really
Yeah.
the most important part of
Right.
Tomb
But
Raider.
he's just like, yeah, let's go crash this
Right.
boat.
Right. Yeah.
So tough people wear arm bandages.
Yeah.
Yeah. That scene, like after one of the scenes, Lara has a bandage on her arm, and then she's got a bandage over top of her pant leg. So, like, if you want to look tougher, if you want to make a character look tougher, put bandages around their arm, like a full arm bandage. It just makes you look tougher. I've decided. That's easy one right there. He keeps calling her Sprout, and it feels so forced. I'm just like, stop. Like every time he says it, it feels forced when she's older.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, stop saying that.
Well, any parent will tell you it doesn't matter how old they get, they're still your kids.
I guess. I don't know, but I don't, something about it.
Yeah,
It
but
just
he didn't
felt
even like
forced.
his kids.
He didn't like anyone.
He's like, screw you, Lara. Like, I don't care about you. I just care about the world. And Lara's like, what the hell? This is
Oh,
not what I
God.
expected.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in his defense, I mean, she lives in the world, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
as she's part of the world, and by extension, he does care about her.
Yeah. I for sure wasn't expecting that, like, interaction between them.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good surprise. Some character depth, I guess, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
But anyway, should we rank it?
Yeah, let's rank it. Tomb Raider. I don't know. Like as a video game movie, like it's pretty good. It's definitely in the top of the video game movies for me. I'm debating if I give this a C plus or a B. It's definitely deserving of a C plus, but what I can't decide is if I like it enough to give it a B. Like I think as a video game movie, it's pretty good.
But what about as an actual movie?
As an actual movie, oh gosh, is it a B movie? Does it really?
You like
live up
jazz?
to that?
I'm looking over previous rankings, and you haven't actually like none of us have given except for Colton, you have yet to give a video game movie a B.
What did I give Mortal Kombat?
An A.
Oh. Well, then this is a B. This is a B for me.
Mortal Kombat 2021.
Yes, you gave that an A. Contrasting mine and Quinn's, I feel much more reasonable B.
No, good movie.
I just want to make sure that I was pointing out that it was the most recent Mortal Kombat and not the original Mortal Kombat that you gave an A to.
I probably gave the original
It was
Mortal
definitely
Kombat.
Annihilation. Annihilation deserves that A.
Oh gosh, it's a rough one.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B for this one. I think it deserves a B as the best of its chase tomb raiding subgenre. Also, I feel like it's not that there's an oversaturation of tomb raiding style movies. It's just that I have had to watch all of them in the last year. You got the Uncharted, all the Indiana Jones movies, Tomb Raiders.
Technically, we haven't actually ranked the last one on this podcast yet.
What's the last one?
Crystal Skull.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, it's not a video game.
But we did cover the first 3 in the early days of our show.
That's
The
true.
early days. All right, what do you?
I
what do
will
you
correct
guys give
myself.
this?
There's still Lego Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull. So like,
Oh,
there's no argument for that.
there you go.
But the movie came before the game, so I think it's a little different.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think I'm gonna go with B as well. I think it was a solid movie. And I like the direction they went with it. Very realistic and refreshing.
Refreshing.
I thought the action scenes were very unique, like with the river and the plane.
I like the plane one. Yeah.
The plane was good, I thought. I don't know how the plane got there, but I think it was it was good. And then how she crashes through the trees and how they didn't throw in that she was just some master of martial arts, but they started it with her in the gym and like, oh, she's, she has some training, but she's not the best. So they really developed her as a starting point for the movie or for the franchise, I guess, right? So, but yeah. I think a B is a good ranking. All right, Kudrow, bring us back to Earth.
Yeah, tear it down here.
I love how I've gained this reputation for hating everything.
Just the good things.
Am I the caustic critic of this crew? Is that what I've become?
Listen, I don't.
Wait, I got a question. Is it better than Final Fantasy?
There's no movie better than Final Fantasy, except there is. But I don't know. To be honest with you, like when I'm thinking of the other, like the first Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie, I actually think I might have had more fun with that one, honestly. But I mean, for what it is, this one's okay. I don't think it's B. I think this is a very average movie. Worth a watch, and then it slips out of the mind and you never think about it again. So for me, it's a C.
All right, for Kudrow,
it goes the way of Uncharted.
It's a C. All right, so we'll look at our overall here. So, Kudrow, with your C, and for me it's a B, but it's on the low end of the Bs. I'm gonna say top of the C tier would be where I would lean for this one. What do you guys feel?
I think that's a good place for it.
Kudrow, is top of the C tier agreeable to you with our B rankings?
I wouldn't object.
All right, I think that's a fair place for it. Make some good points, Kudrow. I definitely would put it at the bottom of the B tier, so I am all for it. And with this, Tomb Raider 2018 is in the C tier. All right, sick. Yeah, what do you guys want to watch next?
I think we have to go back to a Cage movie now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could probably do a Cage. Are we next week? Next Thursday's Thanksgiving. Quinn, you're probably traveling.
No, I'll be here. We're hanging around.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, yeah, we can actually. I don't know if I'll be here. So
I mean, if we want, we can, but I would say probably plan not to.
Yeah, we'll plan on 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, maybe we can come back on December 1st.
All right, then
so which Cage movie are we gonna watch? Nicolas Cage go mentally insane.
We're gonna watch Wild at Heart.
Oh, great! I'm
Wild at Heart.
Please,
never heard of it.
Oh my god! Remember our last Cage movie? We put Time to Kill in the absolute farthest end of the F tier.
That barely deserves to be a movie.
Oh man.
Okay, here we go. We get a little preview. Young lovers Sailor and Lula run from the variety of weirdos that Lula's mom has hired to kill Sailor.
Sailor's a name. Okay,
yeah, Sailor is Nicolas Cage.
I thought you were saying they were sailors. I'm like,
No,
what?
no, no.
Wait, so a spiteful mother-in-law is sending assassins to kill her son-in-law. If they
Yeah.
like, I see potential for the premise if they really played up the absurdity of it, but I feel like that's not gonna happen with this.
I was just gonna say, at least the assassins are real and they're not like a figment of Nicolas Cage's imagination, where
But
he
also
thinks
real.
people are chasing. Well, that's what I'm saying, is like they're real. So
But-
it's not like Nicolas Cage is going crazy thinking that like his mother-in-law is sending people after him.
Right, but wasn't that guy actually real? Because Nicolas Cage saw him in a dream, then he was also real.
Which
Are we
what-
talking
what
about
are you
different
talking about?
movies?
I feel
Oh,
like
I'm
we
just
both
talking about
are,
in
'cause
general.
Oh,
I
I
was
was
I'm
talking
just talking
like you
about
were
in general.
talking about Raising Arizona.
Raising
with the
Arizona, where he
Viking.
dreams about the guy and it's unclear
Oh,
if he's
yeah,
real,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then he's totally real.
I just meant all the Nicolas Cage movies where
I
his,
gotcha.
where things are a figment of his imagination, whether he's turning into a vampire.
Okay.
Or,
The vampire one. Oh, that fucking movie. I
yeah.
feel like I like that movie thinking more back about it. Like that I got it. That movie.
No, that would suck.
The couch where the couch is
Bro,
Come
he
on.
killed someone in the club. He bit her to death.
He walks around with the stake trying to get people to kill him in the city.
Yeah, but he used plastic
Oh my god.
vampire teeth to kill someone.
That was amazing.
That movie is such a meme.
Oh my god. I should have rated that movie higher. Jeez.
That's
Where
mental
did
illness.
Colton
That's
rank?
literally mental illness.
What did Colton rank that one?
Same
Well,
as-
Vampire's Kiss. Colton, you actually ranked it the highest of us. It was a C plus
It's-
according to
it's-
your ranking.
It's the same
Yeah.
as Leaving Las Vegas. Nicolas Cage goes crazy.
That one sits better with you though. Vampire Kiss, like it's funnier when you look back at it.
We have yet to give a single Nicolas Cage movie an A. We have yet to give a single video game movie an A outside of Colton's Mortal Kombat 2021 ranking.
Get over here.
Are we? I feel like our podcast at this point is making a name for itself of ranking terrible and
I
terrible
think
movies.
I think when you get into the 90s, there's some better Nicolas Cage movies out there.
I mean, there
I think
can't be
we'll-
any worse ones.
We'll at least get some more B's.
Okay, let me see here. Thinking about childhood memories, I remember Gone in 60 Seconds being pretty good. I remember Con Air being good.
We did Dune. Dune was the one that I think had the hot, like,
Oh, that movie-
standard wise
yeah.
was probably the top
Yeah,
that we
movie's
all
great.
watched.
Right.
And all agreed was actually good.
But National Treasure, I mean, S tier, so
God
waiting for that one.
Yeah, so guys, paint colors. What's your favorite paint color?
Which room?
All
a
the
good
rooms.
follow-up.
Yeah. Any other? I don't know what else. I don't know. I got nothing else. That's the tank is empty. What do you guys got?
The only thing I guess I have two things. One was the new Pokemon game. Like the Switch just can't handle it,
Makes sense.
so people are pissed.
Yeah, I don't know. I get it, but man, I would love a more powerful Switch.
Yeah.
The shitty thing is, I'm gonna buy another current Switch because, well, yeah, because Jessica loves Zelda, so she's gonna want to play the new Zelda the day it comes
When
out.
does the new one come out?
May
June.
12th, June.
Wait, is it May?
I
thought
don't
it
know.
was June.
So
I-
what if Nintendo just comes out early next year and is like, we got this new
Oh yeah, sure. Well,
upgraded Switch?
sure that'd be great.
Colton, you're right.
but-
May 12th, 2023.
But
Tears
I
of the
don't.
Kingdom.
I don't think it'll come out till like the end. I doubt it's gonna be early next year. I doubt it's gonna be before Zelda.
That's true. They usually release what holiday season, right? for new consoles.
Well, I think the Switch might have come out in like a March or an early in the year, but I just
Oh,
doubt.
okay.
I doubt it's gonna be because Zelda, the new Zelda game, I think is like made to go on the current Switch. So I think that's like the last game, and then after that, they'll announce some other game that's gonna be the first. Like maybe it's the next Mario game is gonna be on the
Right.
new. But
That
That
makes
makes
me
sense.
nervous though, because it's like if Scarlet and Violet can't even like run on the current Switch, and yet Tears of the Kingdom, which to me would seem to be a much more ambitious title. I wonder how the hardware is
I
going
don't,
to handle
but
that.
I don't know that. I don't know that you can compare them like that because I think there's probably stuff in the Pokemon open world that it's trying to load in different ways that is like maxing out its memory somehow. Because Breath of the Wild, for the most part, runs pretty well.
Yeah, I can't really think of too many areas where Breath of the Wild like
It, right,
faltered.
but like overall, you can play Breath of the Wild and then you don't have a bad experience. So this new Zelda game, I think, is built on that same engine or the same system. So, like, maybe I guess I'm not sure, but either way. So Jessica loves that game. My wife loves that game, and I want to be able to play it at the same time so we can both play it. So I think I'm probably gonna we're probably end up getting another Switch so we can both play the game at the same time.
I think my one thing with that though is like Breath of the Wild, like that was like one of the very soon after launch titles for the Switch.
Yeah.
So and like I expect them to maybe try to do a little bit more now that we're like 5-6 years into the Switch's shelf life.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying it's built off that same system, so I feel like I'd feel more confident that one's probably going to run okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because but again, I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see when it gets here. So
Yeah,
I hope it runs smooth, but we'll see.
yeah.
Because I mean, I'll probably pick it up the day it comes out. So,
But my point is, they win because we're probably going to buy a second Switch before Zelda comes out. So I think we'll probably so we have the older model, so we would probably get an OLED, and then at some point next year, we'd probably sell the old one. I mean, it's not going to be worth much at that point, but we'd probably sell the old one and then buy the Switch 2 or something, or Switch Pro or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd assume. But
wait, what? Hold on.
What you got?
Well,
What's the hot
it's
news?
updated.
Hot news.
Well, the other thing that came out, or I guess is in beta, is the Call of Duty DMZ mode, which
What's
is
that?
is their like Tarkov type.
Oh, they make.
Mode.
Oh, I want to play that. Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
So,
I love the Tarkov concept.
Right. And so I was on Twitter, and I think I follow PC Gamer.
Yeah.
And their article title, Warzone 2's DMZ mode feels like Call of Duty's future, which kind of piqued my interest.
Can I play that mode now?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's in beta.
Oh man. Okay, I'll wait till it's out of beta and I'll play it. That sounds awesome. I love the Tarkov concept. Like where you go in and you got to try and get stuff and get extracted, and like that game was so cool. It didn't run well on my computer and like glitched out, but it was a very fun concept, and I like that idea. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I think it's getting pretty good reception right now. So I've never played Escape from Tarkov before, but I know it's more like a realistic, like there's more consequences. It's mission driven, and I guess there's AI in this one as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if there was AI in Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, there is. There's bots. Okay, yeah. So I'm sure it's some variation on it, but just the concept of like getting in, getting stuff, getting extracted, kind of like building up your loot chest. It has grindy elements to it that I kind of like survival grind kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd be totally. I'm definitely gonna try that. I didn't realize that was out.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I'll probably check it out maybe this weekend. So
awesome.
But yeah, I just want to bring that up. But that's kind of all I had for this week.
All right. Cool. Well, you can find us here at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Live podcasting and talking about the week's video game and entertainment news. Yeah,
but not next week because next
week's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Subscribe on YouTube or Twitch if you like the show, and we'll see you next time, 2 weeks from now. Later.
Good night, everyone.